Hey everybody, welcome back to the Bourbon Note. I'm Greg.
I'm Ben.
And we're live. Hey, and there's people in chat. Welcome everybody.
Yeah, Ryan Frank is already here. Bad Axe Bourbon, Bad Axe Bobby is already here. Do you want to scroll?
Well, I think you know how.
Okay. Sugar Kitty is in the house. Let's get some of that going on. John Matlick, hey Bobby, they're talking amongst themselves. The Gregors from the Bourbon Note is here.
That's right. How did he
Hello
get in
world,
here?
we will be landing on Earth in 90 seconds.
Yes.
Was that appropriately timed? Was it?
It was pretty accurate.
Okay, non-bike riding Dave Vogelsang is in the house. Cheers, bourbon lovers.
You've not talked to him in several days. He may actually be like a bike connoisseur, enthusiast like.
Yeah, I suppose. I mean, it's entirely possible. Let's get a bit of background music going here.
Feeding the ducks. I don't even know what that is, but I like it.
No, well, this is going to be our, what they're hearing now is our normal background music. The Feeding the Ducks is like a StreamYard,
Gotcha.
you know, kind of preloaded deal.
Ah.
So, as you can see in front of us, we do have Texas whiskey. And I don't know what the purpose of this is.
So Ben texted me a little while ago, and I'd been thinking about it, and he said, hey, what do you want to do as a theme tonight? And I said, well, why don't we revisit Garrison Brothers? We've made fun of them a lot. We think they're garbage. However, this one was the best of them several years ago, the first time we had them. And I just tried this recently, and it wasn't the worst thing I ever had. So maybe my opinion is...
The single barrel wasn't the worst thing?
Yeah, it wasn't.
Steve Joes is in the house. What's happening?
So
Troy and
maybe...
Lisa Toole are here. What's going on? Cooler running. Sorry, I just... Brian Vaughn is here. Bike riding Brian Vaughn.
Wow.
Yeah.
So anyway, we wanted to revisit, and I decided to do this. I grabbed a regular, kind of like everyday-ish, kind of low-budget type bourbon. It's from Kentucky. You've totally heard of it. And
okay.
And so Ben does not know what's in whatever glass that is.
It's in my, because I'm going to go right to left here.
Okay, so I will put that unknown bourbon on the right. So it's clearly not Texas whiskey. It's not. He's not going to be surprised that it's from Kentucky and a bourbon.
Yeah.
But we'll see what he thinks of the regular kind of budget-ish price. It's not bottom shelf, but the reason for that is these are very expensive.
Yes.
This is like over $100. This is over $200, and I think they're up quite a bit over 2 years ago when I got them.
And it's no secret we don't like Texas whiskey. Mikey Likey Whiskey is here in the house. What's happening?
Hey, Mike. Hey, Mike. Are you from Sacramento?
We need to just get a soundbite that says that. That just, are you from Sacramento? So anyway, yeah, if you watch this show regularly, you'll kind of know that we're not super into Texas whiskey. It's not really our jam.
Yeah.
But, you know, we got to revisit this stuff every once in a while. And Greg was just in the mood to apparently torture us.
Well, yeah.
For the night. So we're going to just drink through these for the hell of it. It's just kind of a hangout.
Yeah.
You know?
We're going to hang out. Are we going to talk about a recent review we did where some people were kind of shocked with our opinion?
Yeah, I was going to, entertain the internet for a second here.
Hi, internet.
And
My name's Greg.
I've
been here for a couple of years doing these bourbon reviews, whiskey reviews occasionally.
Yeah, how do you put slides up here?
Is it a PowerPoint or a PDF or something like that?
Well, no, it's just, no, that's not going to work. Son of a bitch. Well, we just came up with this idea just before going on.
You too, Sugar Kitty. I didn't realize I was not the only one.
I think he's talking about you.
Oh, he's talking about me again.
I wonder if we can do it like this. See what you can get. Oh, you got to upgrade to do that.
Oh, that's crazy.
Sorry, we just came up with an idea. We wanted to share some pictures.
Oh, you can't do JPEGs? It has to be just a PDF or like a...
Well, you can do video clips.
And, well, we know that you can do, like, branding, but that's not what you want to do. You just want to share, like...
yeah. I just want to share pictures. So, I don't know. I mean, I could share, like, present and share screen.
Yeah, and you could do your desktop and then open up the app there. But that could be dangerous.
It could be. I wonder if I can just upload a photo instead of a... This is riveting content.
Yeah. All right. It's time for
Yeah, that's not... Okay, well, we could just read the comments.
Yeah. I mean, you could just hold it up on your phone.
So...
Well, they're on our YouTube channel, right? So if you want to see the authentic version, they're public, and people have expressed their opinion.
Yeah, we thought it'd be fun. So let me read some we thought maybe we'll at some point we'll do a thing like the comments section, and we'll put some comments on the screen from like the previous week's videos, good or bad, just for fun. Lord Rev Professor Rusty J. Lugnuts is here. What's happening? Tater Dom is in the house. What's going on?
What a good name there. That's
awesome. I don't know if you guys have watched our video
of the Elijah Craig.
Of Elijah Craig Barrel Proof Batch C923.
Which everybody that we've heard of in the past month has loved, and it's been a while for us to find one. You finally found one recently.
Yes, as a matter of fact, if you haven't seen my Instagram stories, I do have, I'm going
to drink a bourbon.
Okay. I'm just going to share this real quick because I think it's poignant to what we're about to get into.
Okay.
We didn't seem to have the same opinion on this one as everybody else.
So what did everybody else's opinion look like?
I do have a video of every other Whiskey Tuber's review of Elijah Craig Barrel Proof Batch C923.
Okay, so let's play it. And there you go.
We will get a copyright strike for that joke, but it was totally worth it.
Yes, indeed.
So, oh, God.
And speaking of totally worth it, now it's time for some Texas whiskey.
Yeah, and by the way, I will also say this. I don't know why we keep coming back to this, because here's a video clip of me and Greg every time we go to review a Texas whiskey.
Oh, okay.
Drink it. Remember this. And promise yourself never to taste it again. You're right, it tastes like shit.
If you can't tell, I learned how to use video clips.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah. So anyway, let's get into the comments. But anyway, so yeah, our we were not received well by some people. And here's the thing: we said we love it. We both loved it. We said it's a Whiskey of the Year contender. We just said that it was a bit bitter, dry, and tannic on the finish.
Which is a lot like this channel, if I'm honest.
Right, exactly. So we did get a couple comments. Now, first and foremost, reading negative comments is not to be, we're not like trying to get back and say, we don't mind if people disagree with us or...
Yeah, totally. And we're not going to call people out by name.
Yeah, I'm not going to say anybody's name. But somebody said, Scott from My Bourbon Journey.
But he does have an impressive mustache, and he walks around with
with an axe.
With the fire tool.
No, it's not a fire tool.
That's what she said.
Okay, so this person said...
He meant a hose.
That's what she said.
He said, Scott from My Bourbon Journey, which is a great channel, does a much fairer and balanced review of the C923. Try tasting it again while watching that review. And I did respond politely to all of these.
Okay.
But I don't know what made Scott's review fairer than ours. Like, we just tasted it.
I don't know how Scott would know what my opinion is, because,
Yeah.
I've not actually seen this channel, but...
Yeah, it's good. I've seen his review of it. He very, very much liked it.
Okay.
But it would be disingenuous for us to watch another channel just for the purpose of getting their tasting notes to put into our videos. It's not what we do. We're just trying to give you our opinion.
Yep.
This is kind of this is a long one.
That's what she said.
But this is the same person, and he says, "No offense, but both of your palates were off." So I said, "I'm glad he told me that my palate was off. I didn't know that."
Whoever said that, you're not necessarily wrong. That's something we always wonder about, but we do start with a control bourbon. Typically, it's like a maker's mark or something that we totally know.
And then get water, yeah.
So that we do know, and there have been times where we're just kind of like not into it.
Bobby, thank you for the super chat. On a Mac with...
Ecamm.
Oh, Ecamm, okay.
Yeah, you'd have to buy a Mac, though.
Yeah, I will... Yeah, I'll just quit doing the channel before I'll buy a Mac. So anyway... Both of your palates were off. Yes, both of you at the same time. You have to redo this review. So now we're obligated, apparently. Saying that it almost leans too oaky is simply obtuse. Saying it is tannic is even more obtuse. I don't know why. It's just a simple tasting note, but whatever. Just because age 17 months more than historical batches, double question mark. It's actually 19 months more.
Yeah, honestly, do the math.
Definitely.
No, but seriously, we have 17, 18-year-old whiskeys, and sometimes we think they're good, sometimes we think they're over-oaked.
Yeah, exactly.
So
I did put in the comments, we have had older whiskeys that we didn't have the same experience.
Yeah.
It says, definitely biased because of the age statement. Well, but that's also say if you get a wine finish note on a wine finish bourbon, you're just biased because of that.
Yeah.
There are plenty of people who said it was lovely oaky because of the age statement as well.
Again, some people like that oak-forward whiskey.
Maybe I don't need to read this whole thing.
Yeah, we get the idea.
But it says, he compares it to other bourbons. Nobody said that one was too oaky or tannic, and I was like, I don't really care. This was our experience. We're just trying to share it.
I would be willing to do that review again. Maybe in a live stream we'll revisit it. Because I think it was way out of flavor profile. We've absolutely loved all the Elijah Craig barrel proofs. And this one did not hit like all the others. So maybe it was us more than the whiskey. It's a possibility.
It said there's a lot of obvious bourbon traits in this batch that both of us didn't mention. It was a vague and inaccurate review.
Wow.
So our opinions were inaccurate. Our experience was totally inaccurate. Well, that's good because I paid a lot of money for that bottle, so it's nice to know that I was inaccurate the first time I had it. Also seems like you neck poured this. You watch our neck pour video if you want to get really pissed off.
That's right.
Let it breathe. I dare you to do the review again. Okay. Well,
No, I'd be willing to. I think.
no, we're going to do the all three of them from the
that's
years,
right.
so we'll do that. Here's another one, different guy. Crazy review in my opinion. I get muddled cherry and grape with sugar. Very sweet front palate with a great oak and pepper finish. Drinks under proof. Best whiskey I've had this year. I disagree with your assessment. Well, see now, I disagree with your assessment is a normal, yeah.
But that's like your opinion, man.
Yeah, exactly. And so, I guess, but we did also said that it drank sweet up front and oak on the finish as well. We just said it was a bit tannic.
Yeah.
So
anyway, you get the idea.
Totally off of that subject now. Here's another comment from, and again, I'm not putting people's names out there, but this is a fellow Minnesota guy because I commented back and forth with him.
Okay.
He suggested a couple of different videos, and I wanted to share this one. He said, first, I would love it if the Whiskey Tube community would come together and collectively review and compare the Spirits Direct line for us, which we have actually done before in older videos, so I did send him the links for those.
Yes, we did.
For us, the whiskey drinking public, there's so many at so many price points. Some has to be good and some has to be bad. But it's tough to be willing to take the plunge when they are pushed so hard by the store. Staff seems suspicious. Totally agree. So in case you haven't seen our videos of that.
I almost said something really inappropriate.
I bet you did. OG Brick is here. Ron Bourbon Rendezvous is here. So yeah, I did drop the links, and then I actually did send them the links of all the individual Spirits Direct.
Okay.
But that would be fun for other Whiskey Tube channels to do too, because that is kind of a thing. You get the mini bottles.
Yep.
We did two-tier video where we did a bunch of budget pours.
Yeah.
And then we reviewed a bunch of their decent
And while
stuff
we
too.
make fun of them as being low quality, they actually had a couple that were amazing.
had a couple of good ones.
McFarland's Reserve is very impressive.
Yep, I
And
like
forget
their
there was,
stuff.
Doc
Yeah.
Swinson's was in that, maybe?
No, Doc Swinson's isn't a Spirits Direct. And then last comment here, this one I will include the name because he's always in the chat. He is a Patreon supporter. Dr. Robert commented on our Ego thing, and I think this is good as a public service. And I don't know if he's actually a real doctor or not, so for legal purposes.
Well, he can identify him however he likes.
That's true.
However, so you should, before you go any further, explain what the Ego thing is, just in case anybody doesn't know.
It's a cream liquor.
That's what she said.
I didn't even plan that. It's a cream liqueur.
Thank you.
It's made by it's got Eggo waffles or whatever, but it's called Brunch in a Jar. It's really, really good.
It comes like in a mason jar, but then with the shrink wrap logo that's yellow, looks the colors of the...
It says, advice from the doc. He put it in quotes, so maybe he's saying he's not a doctor. I don't know.
Okay.
Now that you've opened that, refrigerate it. If you do, you're good for a while. If you don't, it won't be too awfully long before it turns into liquid fungi. Mold seems to love the cream-based spirits at room temperature. Looking forward to the old smoky moonshine blinds. I don't know if we ever said we were going to do that, but I like the idea. So, and we did have a couple other people comment on that as well. Let's get into the whiskey. Let's see.
Spirits Direct, in my opinion, absolutely average for the most part. Some are below average. Some of them, at least the ones from Tennessee, seem to be really below average. But some were okay. And
God. Oh.
Nah. Not for me. F***ing not for me. There's something in that tastes like shit.
So what do you think?
Yeah, it's just...
Which one was that?
That was the...
Nothing like the first cup of dumpster juice in the morning.
So yeah, that was the single barrel. I might have cut myself off with that clip.
So
I hate the taste of that.
Really?
Yeah.
So we should ask in the chat. You guys are seeing the video clips, right? Is anyone actually confirm that?
Oh yeah, they're seeing them. If we're seeing them, I think everyone else is seeing them.
Oh, yes.
That's what she said.
Does that work? I don't know. Let's see. Hope to grab a Stagger Antique 107. OG Break, Virginia AVC having their yearly allocated drop this Saturday. I can't wait. Well, hey, good luck, man.
Good luck there.
Yeah, let us know what you find, for sure. So this is garbage. Wolfie, Hatfield,
All right,
Barbecue.
Hatfield is seeing them.
All right, sweet.
Yeah, and Bobby being Bobby.
What's Bobby saying? What video clips? He's in here somewhere. I know there's a Bobby clip on the other.
I'm not wearing my reading glasses.
You got to have the readers.
Oh, it's bad.
All right. So, how much is the single barrel? This is like $100.
I thought it was like 100, but
For a 94 proof bourbon that tastes like dumpster juice.
yeah, exactly.
Oh God. I'm gonna keep trying it.
It's just there's a pot still note up for. It's what I assume is the pot still note. It's just some sort of like
Texas funk, and then there's like
yeah. Then there's a point where you're walking through a pickle patch. And
walking through a pickle patch.
yeah, or like I don't know, a farm type.
What the fuck are you talking about, man?
No, there's like this weird like vinegary type.
I was gonna say there
middle?
is something on.
Yeah.
I'm getting more on the backside.
That's what she said.
So Hatfield Barbecue just picked up the Larceny C923 at Costco for $50. I did see that. I passed on it because I had kind of allocated the bourbon budget for a little bit to getting a hold of that C923. That, by the way, we really liked. Just said it was a bit tannic.
And it sucked.
So yeah, I don't understand how Garrison Brothers stays in business. I really don't.
They sell mediocre whiskey in crazy expensive bottles.
And so here's one thing, and I will say this about Texas whiskey. We like to have fun and call it garbage and say it sucks and everything, and because we know we have friends.
Peter, I don't think you're correct in your assessment. That's what I thought too, but there's plenty of people out here that like them. And maybe they make good whiskey, they just hide it.
Yeah, they don't sell it, for sure. This, to me, tastes very much like Texas whiskey, and we hate Texas whiskey.
I've not had one that I thought was better than Kentucky, that's for sure.
Yeah, I've not had one that I can say I really liked. Now, that being said, as much as we like to have fun and joke around about how it's garbage and dumpster, at this point, I consider Texas whiskey to kind of be its own category of whiskey.
Yeah.
And it's just not a category we like. Like, say, for example, you don't like Scotch at all. You don't like malted whiskey. You can give a person all the Scotches you want, and you're probably not going to change their mind if they generally don't like the category.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily meant to be an insult to whoever made that particular Scotch. You're just making a product that I'm not a fan of.
Well, what was that? Jägermeister.
Yeah.
I despise the taste of that.
Yeah.
If you had it, I would not take a sample of it.
Yeah.
It's perfectly fine if you like it, and
Yeah,
if
exactly.
You're an enthusiast,
But
I don't care, but I don't want any.
I feel like there's a lot of...
Yeah, I mean, you get your feelings hurt if you're from Texas and,
yeah, and it's not...
this is the best you can do.
Right. But again, I think it's just a category of whiskey that I don't like. Like, I don't particularly like tequila, for example.
Fair.
So you can tell me good and bad tequilas, and it's probably...
Meh.
It's probably not going to be something I'm going to be into because I don't like the overall...
I would agree. And
kind. So that's really kind of, I think, where you and I both are with Texas whiskey. It's not an individual,
Yeah.
John Matlock, can you pour that on poutine? I don't know what you guys are talking about going back and forth, but I am a fan of poutine.
And we're not even in Canada.
Top Shelf, Dustin literally poured a bottle down the drain on a live.
I had the regular Garrison Brothers, the basic one, which is like $45. I poured that down the drain. First time I've ever poured a bottle of whiskey down the drain. There's not a scenario I can think of where I need that bottle because I've got a couple hundred bottles and I'm never going to say, you know what, I'm in the mood for this. There's just nothing. So I poured it down the drain. I needed the shelf space more than I needed that bottle.
Yeah. I would imagine it was terrible. This one is getting more and more bitter to me, actually. It's getting like, it had that musty standard Texas funk and kind of that weird note we were talking about. Mm-hmm. But now it's getting almost like I don't know, there's like a chemical-y or something.
Yeah. It almost like a plastic or something.
Yeah, it's weird.
All right, I'm going to move on to the old Bal Maria, which...
Oh, God, we're going to have to blend these, aren't we? Jesus. Well, okay. This one, okay, so what are the stats in this one again? 115 proof. It is a double oak.
Mm-hmm. Very dark. It looks like coffee.
Yeah. Coffee, motor oil.
That's right.
That actually smells pretty good, I'm not going to lie. Right now, this is really smelling pretty good. Maybe it's in comparison to the last one. I do remember when we did a review of this, we didn't hate this one.
Right. This one was almost tolerable, and it has that one Texas kind of note that is...
Balmore.
Bal Maria.
Let's see. Hold on a second.
One of my newest favorite things, when people correct how you say it, you totally say it wrong and say, no, you got it wrong. And just mess with, especially their name.
Oh, yeah.
When they tell you how you're supposed to pronounce the name, no, correct them.
Yeah,
no,
I like
this
that.
is how you say your name.
This is who you are.
This is who you are.
Steve Joe said, I kind of had you guys figured for cheese curds. I like cheese curds and poutine, and the best poutine comes with cheese curds on it. And that's a real thing.
I know it is a real thing.
I just fired up some poutine with cheese curds on it this last weekend.
A chocolate, I don't even know what that means.
If Greg says he has a chocolate cow, I don't know. They're talking amongst themselves. We must have missed that.
Oh.
I like this one definitely more than the other one.
So you could convince me this is a wine finished. I'm getting a little bit of like wine notes on it actually.
Yeah, I can see that.
This one's fine. Like I don't think it's amazing. The only down part is when you put the $215 price tag, then there's a whole bunch of bottles that get in front of it in line.
I think it's actually more than that now. Even at Total Wine, it's like $230.
But it's fine. It's decent.
Yeah, that at $50.
Yeah. Even 70. I mean, the bottle looks really good, but...
Yeah, the nose is nice. I think it has something that kind of covers up that Texas funk.
Yeah, it does. The double oak, boy, you could really convince me there's a little bit of grape in this one. This one is tolerable, I would say.
Does it have a little bit of a sharp edge to it to you?
I think it's fairly...
It's 115.
It's a nice balanced set of flavors. It's just... There's something about that flavor that it doesn't hit the right notes for me personally.
I think, and I can't remember because it's been a while since we reviewed this, but I would imagine we probably said in that review that this one falls into that this is not an everyday pour sort of whiskey. Mm-hmm. This is a once in a while. You have maybe a 2-ounce pour of it and you're kind of done with it.
Because it's really sweet, but it's also not, like, it's a weird, I'm getting hit with like a real aggressive sweetness, but then it goes dry, but not too dry. Like, so it's almost rich and molassesy, so you don't want to drink a lot of it. Like, I don't know.
I'm almost getting like a toasted barrel. I don't know what the secondary barreling is with this, but like kind of that marshmallowy vibe a little bit.
Yeah, how about you guys in the chat? What are you all sipping on? And, okay, so for those of you recently joining, so Ben and I agreed we're going to revisit these Texas whiskeys, and then I said, okay, I'm going to put a third glass on the table.
Hello, Robin Burrell. It's a new name in the chat, so I wanted to say hi before we missed.
I'm sure that Robin's had that name for a while.
Anyway, so, and now you were saying, sorry, I interrupted you.
So this is a kind of budget-ish, not crazy bottom shelf, but it's budget-ish Kentucky bourbon. You've totally heard of it. And I wanted you to compare these over $100 type whiskeys from Texas with a basic bourbon. It's lower proof.
Okay. I'm going to say right off the bat, do you want me to try to guess what that is?
I just want you to compare.
Okay.
And
I think it's going to be difficult because I think the Balmore is so... aggressive in one direction that anything after it, especially something lower proof, I think is really going to fall flat, and it may drastically affect. Is it something you've had before? You don't have to say if I've had it, but is the third pour, is that something you've had before?
I've had it before.
You have? The one that's in this glass you've had before? Okay. So maybe if you taste it after the Balmoral and see from your memory if it drastically affects it. I think the Balmoral definitely affected the single barrel. It almost gives it like a chlorine taste or something.
I get the notes that I would expect on this. I would say take a drink of water.
Okay.
Give yourself a minute. Because the Balmoral definitely has a particular flavor that's, I mean, it is higher proof and double oaked and so on.
Higher proof, double oak, Texas. Yeah, it's got a lot going for it that I think could really pile on to just an ordinary bourbon that maybe is...
Troy!
Which Troy?
I
missed. Baker Troy from Baker Drinks. What's going on, Troy? So...
Oh, didn't you have a video of Troy?
A video of Troy?
Yeah.
I don't.
Oh, I was just going to have you play one of those clips.
Which one?
Well, any one of them, to be honest. But I was just messing with them.
Oh, just I do feel like... So, Still Austin is now available in Minnesota.
But I've not seen it yet, but I've not actually
I've
been
seen
hunting
it.
much.
I actually did taste it because they had samples at Total Wine. It's a tiny little sample. It just eaten. I don't think it was fair.
Okay.
I will say I didn't hate it as much as I hate most Texas whiskey.
Everybody says Still Austin is really good, and I'm totally wanting to try it. I just haven't seen it yet.
Everybody is trying to convince us that that is going to change our mind
Which would be
on
awesome.
Texas whiskey.
I was born in Texas. I don't have a strong hatred of Texas.
Yeah.
I just haven't had a good whiskey from there yet.
We're being heavily influenced by outside sources that our opinion is wrong on Texas whiskey and Elijah Craig C923.
The gaslighting will continue until morale improves. Don't gaslight me.
Gaslighting doesn't exist. You made it up because you're fucking crazy.
Everybody's gaslighting us.
You know what gaslighting means, right?
I can maybe extrapolate from the context.
I thought that was appropriate since we're drinking Texas whiskey and everybody keeps telling us it's great, despite the fact that it is garbage. Okay, so let's get to this third one. We're going to get back to Kentucky.
Back to Kentucky.
Okay. This one I'm kind of getting that marshmallowy note that I was getting on that. That could be influenced by the Balmoral because I did say that. Shredward, what's happening? Stick to cask strength, Balcones, store picks, and you might change your mind. I have not liked Balcones. Oh, hey, Myron's here. What's up, Myron? From Bourbon Drops. It was me, not my wife, Robin. Oh, okay. Oh. Gotcha. That makes sense.
Do you think he was actually wearing his wife's clothes?
I mean, if he was using her
using
YouTube
her
handle,
account,
you would
like,
assume.
I think it's likely.
Yeah. It kind of tastes a little standard, I guess. Or it smells. All right, I'm going to taste it. Cheers.
All right, here we go. Give it a second sip. Like the first sip, it kind of has to wash out some of the Texas funk.
Yeah. I mean, it's not bad. It's coming across very thin. Again, 115 proof, kind of a sledgehammer
It is low
flavor.
Proof. It's not Basil Hayden, but it is low proof.
It just tastes weird to me. If this is kind of a standard run-of-the-mill bourbon, it's tasting weird right now because I think that... I mean, it's not bad, but I certainly couldn't tell you what it is. I feel like I'm still getting the marshmallow and kind of like a dark weird off that. What are you going to tell me what this is, or do I have to... What do I have to do? Like,
you'll never know.
Like a party trick or something?
Do you want to know?
Yeah, absolutely. Now watch, it's going to be like a Brown Foreman trying to catch me on the truffle pig thing.
That's right. You're the one that said it.
Oh, nice. Well, it's not Brown Foreman, at least.
It's not Brown Foreman, it's Heaven Hill. But that's it. 1783 from Heaven Hill Distillery, Evan Williams.
Yeah, that 90 proof is coming across very watered down right now.
It does.
And I think, again, it's
getting kicked by these.
Yeah, getting kicked in the teeth.
Bullies.
Anything else fun to play with here?
Booyah!
I actually hit Bobby instead of the "That's what she said."
Well, I would go back to the first one you played. That one, yeah.
This one?
Yeah.
For the new people, this is a video clip of all of Whiskey Tube reviewing Elijah Craig Barrel Proof Batch C923.
And the reason we're playing this is because we did a review of it, and it seems like people are not fond of our review.
Yeah, so here's everyone else. It'll cut off. Showed back up in the middle of our conversation there. So anyway, leave in the comments if you also hated our review of Elijah Craig C923.
OG Brick is
looking Bourbon Drop is dropping the review soon. Okay, I'm looking forward to that.
Nice. OG Brick is looking for Joseph Magnus. I picked one up recently. We did a review of it.
Well, I know who you can ask about that.
Booyah!
Yes, Bobby, because the new batch is named after him.
Which I still... Hey, Bobby, if you have a source, I would certainly like to pick one up.
Yeah, Bobby, I really wish... I'm happy for you that happened, but I almost wish it hadn't, because now I really want to spend I really want to get a bottle, so I'm going to have to spend the $200 if I see it. So, Bobby, you cost me $200 with your looming shadow in the Whiskey Tube world, which is awesome. So, yeah, I'm definitely going to be looking for that one.
Yeah.
I'm going to put out some feelers in the liquor store community, see if I can call in a favor or two.
Yeah, we know who your source is. I chat with her on Instagram occasionally, but that's it. You and Nancy hang out all the time.
Well, I wonder, so I don't know if we could ever get Nancy on the show, because we may have trashed Texas whiskey too much. Because she works with...
No, but
she works with Still Austin, and that's the one that we're...
That's the one that's supposedly good. And
yeah,
I
Mr. Great Shot is sending some samples.
We know the reason why it's so good is because of her. And we also like Wyoming whiskey, which she had a hand in.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. I have my feelers out, too.
That's what she said.
Okay, so I feel like...
So, all right, so Lord Rev Prof Rusty J Lugnuts. I don't really think that's his real name, if I'm honest.
More importantly, did you ask him where he's from?
Well, yeah, I mean, everybody knows he's from Sacramento.
Okay.
Just duh. But is he talking about Sweet Wheat from 1792 Distillery, Barton?
Didn't even know about it till Myron's video. Myron, did you just do
1792 Sweet Wheat?
Yeah.
Because we have a friend of the channel who actually gave us a bottle, which is amazing.
Yeah.
Totally
yeah, that was awesome.
Appreciate it. But
I'm really surprised.
It was a little interesting. Like, I didn't hate it, but it was another one that I didn't absolutely love.
Yeah, we liked it, but it doesn't live up to like allocated height.
I trashed Still Austin and Balcones. Well, you're on the
All right. Well, you're in good company with us.
But we don't know if you're Robin or if you're Myron.
Wouldn't that be funny if it was his wife that we're talking to under the Bourbon Drop?
You just can't trust him anymore.
Yeah. Okay, so Ryan Frank has a question. Community help, please. What is...
-2 divided by 7 divided by 2 divided by 3.
They're all inside the... Wait, are those fractions, or is that...
It's PEMDAS, parentheses, multiplication, division,
I don't know.
Subtraction.
Ryan, you're asking, at least for me, you're asking the wrong guy. Because
Sugar Kitty knows.
I was going to say, I guarantee you Sugar Kitty is going to have an answer for this.
Sugar Kitty knows.
Steve Jones tells you to just keep drinking. I think is a good... Let's see. Ben and Greg, I owe you guys a couple samples from Winning Spins Patreon slots. I'll send you 3 different Still Austin cast strengths and the Still Austin and the CC
Corbin Cash
1917. Okay. Well, that's like
awesome.
the 17th time we've been told that we're getting sent Still Austin samples. And alas, my mailbox it remains empty.
Samples are hard. You got to buy the bottles, then you got to like take the time and pour the whiskey into the sample.
That's true. We did just get the samples out finally
for our Patreon winners of that last Baker Drinks.
Yeah, the Whiskey Trivia
Contest.
Night in America,
Yeah.
which was a good time. Ryan Frank, here's your answer.
You have to show your work, Dave.
Sugar Kitty says, cross multiple to get common denominators and then add. Dude, I'm having anxiety just talking about this stuff. Flip the reciprocal.
Yeah. Well, all right, so Myron is on the right track. That's what Sugar Kitty said.
I'll give it the cross X a shot.
Yep.
Yeah, this is...
So I did a poor job of maintaining consistency, but it's...
I have too much whiskey in it because Oh, God. I'm going to do the blend because...
Yeah, let's just get there.
I have to.
You know, it could be good. It could be very good. Then you can go visit that bottle that you brought upstairs.
Oh, now going back to the Balmoral, after even the 1792, none of these go well together at all.
I would agree these are 3 very distinct styles of whiskey.
This is either going to be...
I think it could be great.
Just a terrible... Hold on, let me get this.
All right, lug nuts. Name your source. How do you know the answer is 42?
I think it holds up. I can't imagine that that's possibly wrong. Okay. Oh, God. There's one of 2 ways this can go. Either it's going to miraculously be amazing.
Well, it's 300 proof and probably pushing 18 a year.
Yeah. It's half that, and half that.
And
in case you want to know how great we are at math. Ooh, did you try it yet? Okay, I haven't tasted it, but the nose is surprisingly pleasant.
Oh, excuse me.
I'm not expecting this to transfer over onto the palate. I think this one's going to be a rough one.
That's what she said.
It's a spicy...
Nah. Not for me. F***ing not for me. There's something in that tastes like shit.
I'm with you on the spicy. That's really spicy.
It's spicy.
And I didn't notice any of these being particularly spicy, but that's almost all I'm getting off of that. Besides, it's the Texas funk and spice. That's really weird. That's a strange blend.
Yeah, it's missing something.
0 out of 10, but not recommend.
All right, Bobby.
Getting ready to do the big mail drop soon. I've got a bunch of stuff to send out. All right.
So, cross-X, it's a math thing. Cross multiplication.
Thanks for all the help and laughs. Funk and spice. That's what this is. Shred word, funk and spice. If it wasn't so expensive, I could recommend it as a grave pour a la Grosse Pointe. I haven't seen that in a very long time. But I'll reserve that for another Texas whiskey called America. Yeah, that one wasn't great.
That one was unstellar.
Maybe mix in a little bit of that Eggo. Steve Joe's, I don't know, did you watch the Eggo video? I can't remember. A lot of people commented on that, actually.
That's a popular... I wouldn't mix it with anything. That was great.
A little bit of... Well, we poured a little bit of bourbon in with it, if you remember in the review. Which I thought was great. And actually, I've had that a couple times since then. And
I'm sure.
Over the weekend, I actually did throw a little bit of Old Tub in there with it. And it was really good.
That's good. That's a
so
good choice.
that Eggo stuff with just a little kick of bourbon is nice.
Oh, he doesn't like being called lug nuts.
What's it? Say my name, Lord Reverend Professor.
I'm guessing you drive a Chevy and you only have 4 lug nuts.
I think he's going for the Say My Name, the Breaking Bad.
I never saw it.
You really need to watch that show. You would love that show.
I've heard that's a good show.
Yeah, I think you'd really like it. Okay, that initial taste was very spicy. Now it's not so much. Now I almost kind of feel like the Balmorhea is just winning out over the other two.
But it added some nice sweetness in the middle from, I think, the Evan Williams, that it's tolerable.
I gotta say, I like this maybe better than...
So
I certainly like it better than the single barrel on its own.
So while my blend is 50-50-50, I had less of the single barrel because I tried more of that on its own.
Okay.
So it's mostly the Balmorhea, and 1783.
Yeah. Shredward just rewatched all of Breaking Bad as well. Still amazing. Yeah, that holds up. My wife and I have a few shows that we just have on a regular rotation of rewatching. Like we've watched Dexter like 15 times, all the way through.
You know, I can't watch that show.
Why? No spoilers.
Nope, no, I'm not going there.
Okay.
I find a particular character, and this is in the early seasons, before she's killed, to be unwatchable.
Okay, well don't say it because that would be a spoiler if there's somebody who dies, so.
No, nothing like that. One of the main characters...
Okay, yeah, but you're saying that this character dies, so if you say who it is, it's a spoiler for anyone who hasn't watched the show. And it's a show I would recommend highly.
It's a good show. It's a little dark, but... Every episode, she's got a problem, and Dexter has to save her.
Okay.
And the kids.
You're just doing everything you can to ruin this, aren't you? God. You're just the worst.
You just didn't want to admit it.
Let's see. Okay. Anyway, yeah, so Breaking Bad, we've watched that a bunch. We like to have a show that we've seen that we can put on where it's like, we like to have new shows, but those are ones where you're paying laser-focused attention. I like to have ones that we've seen already, but that we really like. So we're rewatching Sons of Anarchy right now, which is another one of our favorite shows. And that one's just amazing, too. I just love it. So like Breaking Bad, Dexter, Sons of Anarchy. You just can't go wrong. All right. I feel like, I don't know.
Dave Vogelsong. That was one of the best samples we ever received.
Dave, did you get that from the distillery somehow, or did somebody send that one out?
The bottles just came out. They're starting to release them.
So we haven't had this year's. That's sold out pretty quick. It was $200 online.
I tried to buy it. I was there, and I could not click fast enough to get this stupid thing into my cart and purchase.
Was that the one that you tried?
Yeah.
I thought it was the 10-year or something like that.
No, they only do a double oak. And then I did buy a regular one, but I haven't got that one yet. They haven't shipped that.
That's taking forever. I haven't gotten my old Dragon Bones yet. Is there like a slowdown with the male right now?
No, well, I don't think Shane is.
Is there a slowdown with the female? Nailed it.
That's what she said.
Yeah, I keep checking every day. By the way, I'm terrible when it comes to ordering stuff. Like if Amazon didn't have the, get it the next day or get it later on today, I would never order anything. Yeah, because like the second I click place your order, I'm immediately over at the window. Like
it depends on what it is.
And then for the next, if it takes like 2 weeks or something, it'll drive me absolutely crazy. I just can't handle the suspense of it.
So sometimes I'll place an order and I'll totally forget, and it shows up and it's like, oh, I have no idea what's in this box. But other times I know what's exactly in there, and it's about to be opened.
You know what we should do? This is a great idea. I have the best idea for content.
The odds of that are...
Oh, just wait. Hear me out. Everybody let us know in the comments if you think this is something we should do. Okay, we get blackout drunk. Okay?
That's okay. We're starting from a bad place.
We have to do this supervised, though. We just drink a ton of whiskey.
Okay.
Right? We get blackout drunk to where we know we're not going to remember it the next day, right? And we each have $100 to order whiskey online, and then we just wait until they show up and unbox them on the channel.
It's a terrible idea.
Figure out what we ordered.
I'm busy that day.
I think this sounds like a great idea. Do you guys have my back on this? I think it's fantastic. Great idea already. Mike Meyer. Thank you, Mike. Wolfie is in the house. He says do it.
Yeah.
I kind of figured nobody in the chat would be like, guys, I really don't think this is in your best interest.
That's right. I think that's where I'm coming from, but
Blacking out is a serious...
Yeah.
Well, I'm not saying like full on blackout. But when we're sitting around and say we're getting a little bit tipsy, it's like, yeah, I probably don't need that next bourbon. Let's just have that next bourbon, then start ordering stuff.
I felt genuinely bad and uncomfortable with my life decisions whenever I've done that.
Lord Reverend Professor Rusty J. Lugnuts.
We call him Lugnuts for short.
I think you should order for each other. That's a great idea. That's a fantastic idea. Well, tell you what, even if we don't do this on the channel, I can always black out and order whiskey to Greg's house. So, I think that's a fantastic idea. All right, generating just amazing content here. So, I feel like I'm a little just disappointed in what I'm drinking right now.
It's just kind of a generic whiskey at this point. It's spicy, it's fine, nothing really interesting.
I don't like it. Do you think, so I do have a bottle of Old Tub sitting here. Do you think Old Tub can even possibly...
So I've not had Old Tub in a year and a half. I remember really liking it back when the world hated it. Mm-hmm. So I'd give it a try.
I do think we should actually do a review of Old Tub.
We have.
I know, but I think we should start redoing old reviews. Okay, so let us know in the comments on this one too. Life is all about making terrible decisions and not learning anything from them. Just do it. All right, Shredward's a go-ahead sort of dude. I like to cut of his jib.
That's what she said.
That's not a sexual reference, right? I like to cut his jib.
What the fuck are you talking about?
No, I figured as much. So, what I was going to say is let us know in the comments. Back when we first started this, a couple years ago now, we've got a bunch of reviews of like Old Tub, Buffalo Trace, Evan Williams Single Bear, like our first like 20, 30 reviews.
Nobody's ever seen them.
Yeah, they still have like 20 or maybe 40, 50 views. And, I don't expect people that watch our channel now to go on YouTube and scroll back for 400 videos to go see if we've reviewed something.
Sure.
So I think and plus the quality of the camera's gotten better and the mics have gotten better and...
I don't know. I felt like my quality of presentation was almost there, but my co-host was...
All right. I had that coming.
That's what she said.
Oh, you moved that to button number 1 since that's all you ever press.
Yeah, I mean, it's the most likely one.
That's what she said.
So I bought this over the weekend, the Old Tub. I haven't had it in a long time either. Well, I had a couple pours over the weekend out of that one. Stopped in at Total Wine. They had it on sale for $15. And I remember really liking this too. We kind of went through an Old Tub phase.
I personally did. I really liked it.
Well, here's how it started. Dan and I did, and you made fun of us for it, and then you tried it and really liked it. This has done really well in blinds for you. Mm-hmm. I remember this.
So just briefly, it's very cinnamon forward. I personally like cinnamon. And so it did, a year ago, really well for me in a bunch of flights.
Oh, Steve Joe's blackout drunk, then review EC 923 again. Maybe you'll get it right this time.
Steve, you may be onto something.
I love it.
That's what that whiskey would take, I think.
Yeah. I saw 2XO coming out with a Jam of Kentucky single barrel.
I heard that, Dave. I saw that. I got an email about that, I think. I'm not going to buy it, but...
So this one I remember, cinnamon and corn and a little bit of nuttiness. I kind of got that dry, dusty corn note
too.
and cinnamon. Yeah, and then whiskey.
It's got a good density.
It does. I remember we talked about this one being kind of a controversial, divisive whiskey because...
Well, I think
people either loved it or hated it.
Yeah, cinnamon is divisive, I think.
There is a little something that's... Well, the one time we were drinking this in a blind, and we noticed a Play-Doh note.
See you, Bobby. Be safe.
See you later, Bobby. We noticed a Play-Doh note on Old Tub.
And we're not talking about the ancient Greek philosopher. We're actually talking about...
that's what I was talking about. What were you talking about? The putty stuff? Interesting.
Putty. That's right. A little bit more Socrates, if you ask me.
Yeah. I'm assuming this is what it smelled like. Play-Doh. Under that dress. Toga. That's not bad. Excuse me. It's I think it's definitely tasting a little off because of
Sure. The weird
where
blend.
yeah.
Yep.
It's tasting off because of where we've put it.
That's what she said.
In the lineup here. Obviously, after this and after all these, anything we drink right now is going to be... It would not be a fair time to do a review. What are you looking at?
Troy's comment.
It stands to reason that if Heaven Hill is releasing the BPs as they are ready, the younger 523 was a better batch and ready to go sooner. The C923 took longer to get there, so is lower quality. Hey, you know what? You may be onto something.
I think you're totally wrong. You're totally off base.
Well, obviously your palate is off.
Because
Troy.
we thought it was over oaked, and the reality is it's the same. No,
Yeah,
I don't know about
I don't
that.
know if Troy was in the chat when we read through the mean text that we got for that.
I'm just messing with it.
Because we didn't see him show up until later. But yeah, Troy, we did not. There were a couple people, realistically. I think it was just like 2. But people were strongly
opposed to our
opposed
opinion.
to the fact that to the point that they said it was unfair and unbalanced, and our palates were off, and that we
Which-
have to do it again.
I think some of that's fair, but
Yeah. So it's yeah. So for this whole lineup, I'm just going to harken back to a video drop that we had before. Well, except for the old tub, but as far as the 2 Texas whiskeys go,
and then
here.
the blend.
Yeah, and the blend.
Drink it. Remember this. And promise yourself never to taste it again. You're right, it tastes like shit.
So yeah, there we go. That's a perfect representation.
So
of everything that went on in this
movie. I
live
don't know
stream.
what that is, but
It's good.
no, I get the idea, but I don't know what that movie that's from.
Let's see. Is it Invictus or whatever? I remember it was a good movie. I've only seen it once. It was a while ago. I think the B523 was younger, so they could bottle more. That B523 is everywhere, while A123 was nowhere.
I
Brian,
totally agree. I
when
see the
Brian's in
B523
Minnesota,
everywhere,
and we see it everywhere, I'm going to go probably, I don't know. I mean, I'm still got to get the Larceny C923, but I would bunker a couple of those B523s. I thought B523 was great. And I think on this year's run of Elijah Craig Barrel Proofs, you and I, because you liked it too.
I did.
I think you and I have just fallen completely outside of the realm of basically everyone else.
Which means totally everyone else is idiots.
Yeah, that's what I would assume.
Yeah, because there's no evidence we're idiots. None whatsoever.
You cannot have differing opinion or palate off with your heads. Thank you. That seemed to be the sentiment. Yeah.
Yeah. So you're no longer lug nuts, you're just nuts.
Steve
Yeah,
Joe
all right.
says B5.
Now it's time for the double Benny Walker special.
Add the old tub. That's about how much
Yeah.
I had of the other one. So now this is Old Tub, Balmorhea,
There we go.
Garrison Single Barrel, and Evan Williams.
Oh, this is
17.
nice.
This is another one of those where it's no one on planet
frank
Earth
and
has
amazing.
ever had this.
Frank and amazing.
So everywhere in Southern California still with the B523. Yeah, I thought it was great. And I actually had a pour of it the other night, and I thought it was great.
So we are going to revisit some of our barrel proofs, some of the older ones. I have a C919 that we're going to compare to some of these newer ones.
Yeah, that would be a fun one.
Yep.
I do want to do the whole year. Troy and Laura did that in their review of C923.
Oh, wow.
And I won't say what their
They
results
copied
were,
it from us. We haven't released that video yet,
nor have we filmed it, but
they totally copied it from us. We
Yeah.
had the idea.
Troy says the bee is everywhere. The bee is everywhere because the whole whiskey world freaked out at the age statement, and people who normally chase them didn't buy them.
Ah.
Which I think is I said that in my
we
bourbon
talked about
hunting
that a
video,
lot.
and I think we talked about that in the C923 review. Yeah, I don't get it because I think that was a great batch. Certainly, I don't think it was any worse to the point that if you like General Elijah Craig Barrel Proof, it wasn't so off profile that like you're not gonna like it and it's not gonna be worth buying.
So the A was the 12-year, right? It had the age statement, and it was
Yep.
the B that missed the age statement.
Yeah, by 7 months. Or
Yeah,
something.
it was a little bit younger, but then the C was older. It's just crazy, like weird. Mm-hmm. And we think they went from good to good with an asterisk.
Well, and here's the thing. Like, if you watched our video, we didn't say that it was bad at all. What I said was that it was approaching over oaked. When you add another year and a half and add how high a proof that was, those oak notes are probably going to show up a little bit. I mean, you know, everybody and their mother was talking about how great it was because of the oak. And
do you think everybody's mother drinks that much whiskey?
Apparently. The whole whiskey tube community. But no, it's... But we said it was great. We said we really liked it. What I said is that I don't think it's for everybody because I know that strong oak note can be a divisive note. Now, we really like it. I do anyway. You are not as quite into it as I am. But on that one, it was just noting that it had a nice sweet profile, but it did have a bitter and tannic finish. Whiskey Tornado is a channel, and he actually did, I watched his review the other night and I commented on it. He had the exact same experience that we did.
Oh, wow.
Said that it was great, but there was something off about the finish. Said it was dry, oaky, and tannic, just like we did.
Okay, good.
Other than that,
so Steve confirmed.
All
right.
of Whiskey Tube.
Yep. Everybody's mom drinks whiskey. 24. I don't remember 24. 26 was the weeder. I don't remember 24 specifically.
Yeah, I don't know. John Matlick, and then there's my take. I've tried many ECBPs over the years. They're all good, some better, some not as much, but all good. I hunt whiskeys I've never tried before. Yeah, there you go.
Well, yeah.
I don't think the finish was tannic, but it is overpowering. Okay. Well, and that's maybe, so what overpowering in what direction? Because we thought it was like, and when I say tannic, I associate that with like that bitter wood, bitter oak note. Am I off on that?
Well, that was my impression.
Okay.
But maybe he envisioned it's a big scary tree with a shovel or a sledgehammer to beat you over the head with or something.
Yeah.
That's his definition of overpowering. 24 was Caribbean?
Caribbean. Caribbean and Caribbean is one of those, it's a word where like I use that interchangeably.
That's just crazy.
Like when I'm referring to the cruise line, I say Royal Caribbean.
Caribbean.
I don't say Royal Caribbean, but you wouldn't say Pirates of the Caribbean, you say Pirates of the Caribbean.
Okay.
So I say both.
Yes, Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah.
Royal Caribbean.
Yeah, I don't say that. I say Royal Caribbean. And if I say we're going on a cruise in that region, I say we're going on a Caribbean cruise, not a Caribbean cruise.
Huh.
Which one actually is it?
Well, it's both.
I know exactly what you guys are going to do. They're just going to type the word, it's pronounced like this, and not spell it out phonetically. Just Jack Daniel's Barrel Proof 130 drinks like 110, ECBP at 120 drinks like 125. Some of those do.
All right, so what's OG saying? Hot, hot, hot.
I think he's referring to the ECBP.
Just make sure we didn't have to block another comment. Or
Brian says, I think tannic is a drying mouth feeling.
And
that's what we had.
Yeah, that's how I kind of envision it, yes.
Yeah, okay, so Troy says, don't get me wrong, I think they're all fantastic when you line them up. One has to win and one has to lose, but at the end of the day, they're all great. Could not agree more. Yeah. I don't think I've had one
Except for Garrison Brothers. Except for Garrison Brothers.
Yeah, I wouldn't throw a Garrison Brothers into that mix at all. Hell no. That would just be awfulness. I've never had Larceny BP before. Oh, I like Larceny Barrel Proof. So Larceny, especially at that, it's $60 to $65.
Yeah, so Larceny's a little bit lower price than Leichgrig. But they are, it's a weeder, but it's totally different than Maker's Mark. And that's what I kind of envision as the big weeder.
Yeah.
And so Larceny is unique in the barrel proofs. I've not been totally impressed with all of them, but I feel like maybe starting in 2020, they were let down and have gotten better. And by 2023, the ones have been really, really good.
Yeah, we've had both of the 2023 releases already. We had all three last year. Mm-hmm. I would say that I wouldn't consider Larceny to be the unique one. I would consider Maker's Mark to be the unique one.
Well, okay, fair
in
enough.
A world of weeders. Because we talked about this during the Maker's 46. Oh, by the way, that's ready for Patreon. Patreon folks that are in the chat, tomorrow's video will be posted after the live stream.
Eventually.
I forgot to text Greg that it's ready. But tomorrow's video is going to be Maker's 46 cast strength. Let's see. OG Brick. I'll take Larceny over Maker's Mark, but I'm an outrider. I don't know. I mean, I think Maker's Mark has such a a noticeable. They've got their own thing going on. You know, like I don't expect other Weeders to taste like Maker's Mark.
Yeah.
You know, because there's just something about their stuff that just kind of has a very unique profile to it. Larceny BP A120 is a hot mess. That was before we were able to find those. Up until maybe 2 years ago, well, like, so the 2023, and yeah, so in last year's, I never saw Larceny Barrel Proof anywhere.
Right.
And now I've seen every release that's come out. We always had the Elijah Craig, never had the Larceny, and so those have made their way. Speaking of which, there's been a lot of releases now that are coming to Minnesota that previously weren't. So that's very exciting. Like, Blue Run is here now. Smoke Wagon is here now.
Blue Run or Blue Note?
Blue Run. That's the one with the butterfly on it. I haven't had it yet.
I thought that one's been here. That's the one that at least Total Wine has sold for a while.
A while meaning like a few months.
Okay.
Yeah, so within the last like 6 months,
Okay.
there's been a handful of products that are, the Heaven Hill Bottle and Bond is here now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so they're doing a whole bunch in Minnesota right now that are just kind of like every month there's a new line that's available. So that's pretty exciting. Looking forward to getting hold of some Smoke Wagon and doing some side-by-sides on those.
Yeah, they have that up at Spirits, but I haven't made it up there in a while.
Let's see. I'm sure the Larcenys are delicious. They are. I think they're good. We've had the Blue Note.
Brian didn't like Blue Note. Or was he the one that didn't like Blue Run? He sent us a sample. What did he
No, that
send
was
us?
Brian from Bourbon School.
Oh, that's right. That's not. That's not Vaughn. For whatever reason, I think Vaughn
We are
is his
one
last
whiskey away from fulfilling that blacking out and ordering
That's right.
stuff.
We are about to order whiskey live.
We are about to
on the
order
internet.
whiskey, and yeah, no rewatching the stream. So yeah, Blue Note. We had the uncut, unfiltered, which Brian and Lauren both didn't like.
Yeah,
And I think it was either a single barrel that they didn't like, or they got a single barrel that I think they kind of liked.
But they said as samples, and we
didn't mind it. Yeah, I thought it was
bottle.
perfectly fine. I mean, I didn't think it was amazing. We still have another one of those, so we should maybe do that in a live stream. That's what we should do, because a couple people have sent us like duplicate samples. Like when Brian sent those samples, he sent 2 ounces of each whiskey.
What?
Yeah. So the ones we've done reviews of, we can go back and do a live stream and do like a sampling.
Sure. Okay. We can do that.
And a couple other people have done that same thing too. Let's see, the new Cellar Age MSRP is going for $600 on secondary.
If anybody knows where they could find one, I would love to buy a cellar aged. But I don't want to spend $600, that's for sure.
Smoke Wagon is on my shopping list this weekend. The last 4 Larceny BPs are good.
Yep, Dave, you're about right. The last 4 or so.
I never had any before 2022, so I don't.
We had one that we were really let down by early when this channel came out.
I don't know. I don't remember being let down by any of them. Let me see which ones we've done, because I can look this up very, very quickly.
Well, it's 702.
Yeah. Oh, I remember. It was one of the first videos we did. We did the Larceny Barrel Proof against regular Larceny, and it came across as flat. That one, when I went back and drank it more, that wasn't the case.
It more.
Yeah, because it was a fresh neck pour. We never had it. We tried the regular Larceny first, and then we went to that one. It just felt like the proof wasn't there.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a but we'd never had it. But then you said you tried it again and were pretty happy with it.
Yep, exactly. So I think the first one we did was. I
think it was a 21.
Yeah, it was one of the last ones from 2021. That doesn't say on there, but we've had every one since then. All right, well, yeah, as Greg did point out, we're past the 7 o'clock mark. I wonder if Steven is going live on Tipsy Whiskey Shenanigans. Let's find that out real quick. And if he is...
The base of all.
Yeah, Steven is live right now, so... Oh, Sugar Kitty and Peter White bailed out on us and are already over there.
Bailed.
Oh, look at that. All right, well, we're going to wrap it up here, but over at Tipsy Whiskey Shenanigans, I don't know what the theme of his video is. Let's see if it says... Barrel Cask Finish Series Review. Okay, so go check that out. So go watch Steven over at Tipsy Whiskey Shenanigans. Thank you very much for checking in with us tonight. We'll probably be live again next week. I think next...
But maybe you can't.
Was it next week?
Yeah, I think you're tied up. Because today's the 11th. Oh, maybe I can't. It's questionable, but
we'll
see.
figure it out.
Yep.
Anyway, well, so thank you for joining us. Yeah, check out the video tomorrow. It's Maker's 46 cast strength.
Yes.
Greg will get that posted to Patreon tonight for the Patreon subscribers. And
till next time. See you next time.